You know that feeling when you walk into a car dealership and suddenly you're surrounded by a shiny metal and that new car smell. And before you know it, you're sitting across from someone in a cheap suit who's about to change your entire financial future. But here's the thing they'll never tell you during that smooth sales pitch. That monthly car payment isn't just a number on a piece of paper. It's a financial trap that's quietly destroying the wealth-building potential of millions of Americans. And most people have absolutely no idea it's happening. Picture this scenario. You're scrolling through your social media feed and you see your neighbor posting photos of their brand new SUV. Maybe it's got leather seats, a sunroof, all the latest tech features. You start thinking about your own car, how it's getting older. Maybe it needs some repairs, and suddenly that monthly payment doesn't seem so bad. After all, everyone else is doing it, right? My name is Sarah, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, consumer psychology, and why some people seem to effortlessly build wealth while others stay trapped in cycles that keep them broke for decades. If you've ever wondered why you feel like you're working harder than ever but never seem to get ahead financially, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you see things differently. Now, before we dive into what makes car payments so dangerous, let me ask you something. When you think about the biggest expenses in your life, what comes to mind? Most people immediately think about their rent or mortgage, maybe their groceries or insurance. But there's another expense that's quietly eating away at your financial future, and it's probably sitting in your driveway right now. The average car payment in America has reached an all-time high of over $700 per month. $700. That's more than most people spend on groceries for their entire family. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this might surprise you. The problem isn't just the monthly payment itself, it's what that payment represents and what it's preventing you from doing with your money. Think about it this way. When you sign up for a $700 monthly car payment, you're not just agreeing to give away $700 every month for the next 5 or 6 years. You're actually agreeing to something much more expensive. You're giving up the opportunity to invest that money, to build wealth, to create financial freedom for yourself and your family. Let's run some numbers that will probably make you uncomfortable. That $700 monthly car payment over 6 years adds up to just over $50,000. But that's not the real cost. The real cost is what that $50,000 could have become if you had invested it instead. If you put that same $700 per month into a diversified portfolio earning an average of 8% annually, after 6 years you'd have about $62,000. After 10 years, you'd have over $120,000. After 20 years, that money would have grown to nearly $420,000. Think about that for a second. The difference between having a car payment and investing that money isn't just $50,000. It's potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your lifetime. That's not car money anymore. That's house money. That's retirement money. That's generational wealth money. But the automotive industry has done an incredible job of making us forget about these opportunity costs. They've trained us to think in terms of monthly payments instead of total cost. They'll stretch loans out to 7 or even 8 years to make the monthly payments seem more manageable, all while you're paying more in interest and staying trapped in the cycle longer. Here's something that might shock you. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it loses about 20% of its value. So if you bought a $40,000 car, it's immediately worth around $32,000. You've just lost $8,000 in the time it takes to drive from the dealership to your house. That's not an investment. That's not building wealth. That's actively destroying wealth while convincing yourself you're making a smart financial decision. And here's the really insidious part. Car payments have become so normalized in our society that people don't even question them anymore. It's just accepted that adults have car payments. It's part of the American dream right alongside the white picket fence and the mortgage. But what if I told you that some of the wealthiest people I know drive cars that are 5, 10, or even 15 years old? There's a psychological component to this that most people never consider. When you have a car payment, you're not just spending money on transportation, you're buying into an identity. You're telling yourself and the world that you're the type of person who drives this particular car. And that identity comes with a price tag that extends far beyond the monthly payment. Particular car. And that identity comes with a price tag that extends far beyond the monthly payment. The insurance costs more because it's a newer, more expensive vehicle. The maintenance is more complex because everything is computerized and requires specialized parts. You start feeling pressure to keep it looking perfect, so you're spending money on premium car washes and protective coatings. You park further away from other cars to avoid dings. You stress about every little scratch or scuff mark. This is what I call lifestyle inflation in disguise. You don't just buy a car, you buy into an entire ecosystem of expenses that revolve around that car. And the monthly payment was just the entry fee to this much more expensive club that you never consciously decided to join. But here's what really bothers me about the whole car payment trap. It's not just about the money you're spending, it's about the opportunities you're missing while you're locked into this financial obligation. When you have a car payment, you have less flexibility in your career. You can't take risks. You can't say no to a job you hate because you need that steady paycheck to make the payment. You can't take time off to start a side business or go back to school because the payment doesn't stop. The car payment becomes this invisible chain that keeps you tied to your current situation. And the longer you stay in the cycle, the harder it becomes to break free. Because by the time you're halfway through paying off one car, the marketing machine starts whispering in your ear about upgrading to something newer, something better, something with more features. Let me tell you about something called the perpetual payment trap. This is where most Americans find themselves without even realizing it. They finish paying off their car loan, and instead of celebrating and driving that paid-off vehicle for as long as possible, they immediately start shopping for their next car. They've become so accustomed to having a car payment that not having one actually feels weird. The car industry loves this cycle because it means they have customers for life. You become a subscription customer, essentially paying a monthly fee to always have access to a newer vehicle. But unlike other subscriptions that you can cancel anytime, this one comes with a massive penalty if you want to get out early. The next time you're tempted by that shiny new car and the salesperson starts talking about how affordable the monthly payment is, remember what we've covered today. Remember that you're not just buying a car, you're potentially giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in future wealth. You're trading your financial freedom for the temporary satisfaction of driving something new. The choice is yours, but now you know what that choice really costs. Your future self will thank you for making the right decision today.